The DCEU has been confusing, chaotic, brilliant, but consistent, not even close. And if there's one thing DC fans have mastered, it's passionately loving or aggressively despising their female characters. Let's start with Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. When Gal Gadot first showed up in Batman v Superman, fans collectively went, okay, maybe this cinematic universe isn't a total dumpster fire after all. She walked in with a theme song that could raise the dead and an inexplainable aura. Wonder Woman, released in 2017, turned the character and her actress into feminist icons and the movie into a global phenomenon. But then came Wonder Woman 1984, the film that said, what if we make her wish her dead boyfriend back instead of giving her, a whole plot? Fans who once hailed her as DC's savior suddenly developed emotional trust issues. Still, you can't deny she carried the franchise better than anyone else. Lois Lane, brought to life by Amy Adams. Amy Adams is a phenomenal actress, but Lois Lane in the DCEU. She had all the screen presence of a wet envelope. This Lois spent more time being rescued than reporting, and when she did get lines, they sounded like she was still half asleep from the previous scene. It's not even Adams' fault. She tried, but the writers clearly had no idea what to do with a human woman in a universe full of demigods. She's supposed to be Pulitzer-winning and fearless, not a person who throws herself into danger so Superman has something to save. The audience didn't hate her, they just forgot she existed, which might be worse. Harley Quinn, played by Margot Robbie. Few characters have been both overexposed and beloved quite like Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie was basically undoubtedly born for this role. Gorgeous, chaotic, and fueled by a cocktail of glitter and trauma. Suicide Squad, released in 2016, was an abomination, yet somehow Harley came out of it like a phoenix in, well, booty shorts. By the time Birds of Prey rolled around, she'd evolved into every girl's favorite breakup role model, trading her toxic ex for roller skates and egg sandwiches. Critics adored her, fans cosplayed her, and boyfriends everywhere learned what emancipation really meant. Harley may be unhinged, but compared to the DCEU writers' choices, she's practically a genius. Let's move on to Mera, depicted by Amber Heard. Before Aquaman in 2018, most people couldn't name a single underwater superhero besides that one from SpongeBob. Then Mera appeared, a powerful redhead who could literally command the ocean. Fans loved her for 5 minutes, until real-life courtroom chaos with Johnny Depp turned her name into a global meme. Amber Heard's off-screen drama practically sunk her on-screen character. Even the sequel tried to quietly minimize her, like your friend pretending their ex never existed. What was once meant to be DC's fiery underwater queen became more of a PR liability. The ocean couldn't wash that one clean. Sasha Calle as Supergirl. She was the glimpse of hope we didn't know we needed. Sasha Calle's Supergirl in The Flash arrived just when everyone was tired of watching Batman variants cry over their dead parents. She was fierce, raw, and carried herself like someone who actually belonged in a superhero movie. Her screen time, criminally short. Her death, brutal. The fans, furious. She had more charisma in 10 minutes than some DCEU characters had in entire trilogies. Calle's Supergirl was proof that DC could still make people care, if only the studio would stop rebooting itself every 6 months. Enchantress, played by Cara Delevingne. Cara Delevingne gave me levels of secondhand embarrassment as Enchantress. She danced, whispered, and wiggled her way through Suicide Squad in 2016 like a club performer who lost her choreography mid-set. Enchantress could have been terrifying, a mystical, ancient force of darkness, but instead, she became a meme. The problem wasn't Cara, it was everything else. The costume looked like it was made from leftover Hot Topic accessories, and the plot gave her all the depth of a fog machine. Even Jared Leto's Joker felt like the more restrained performance, and that's saying a lot. Black Canary, portrayed by Jurnee Smollett. You know that one friend who's ridiculously talented but keeps hanging out with people who drag them down? That's Black Canary. Jurnee Smollett gave her everything: charm, strength, vulnerability, and a singing voice that could shatter eardrums and hearts. In Birds of Prey, she was the emotional glue holding together Harley's chaos and Huntress's awkward silence. Yet somehow, the DCEU treated her like an optional side quest. She's the kind of character who deserved a spin-off but instead got buried under studio indecision. Still, fans adored her, and if DC ever figures out what continuity it's in, she deserves a real spotlight. Cara Delevingne as Dr. June Moone. Speaking of Enchantress earlier, let's not forget Dr. June Moone, her mild-mannered archaeologist alter ego. She was supposed to be the emotional anchor of Suicide Squad, but the chemistry between her and Rick Flag had all the excitement of watching two goldfish stare at each other. June spent most of the movie whispering about curses and looking guilty for summoning her demonic twin. If Enchantress was bad, June was worse, like a paper towel version of a love interest. Fans didn't hate her, they pitied her. She deserved an exorcism and a new script. Superman's mom, played by Eilert Zur. Okay, fine. Technically, she's not a main player, but Lara Lor-Van, Superman's mom, still left an impression. She birthed the DCEU's most beloved alien baby, said a heartfelt goodbye, and watched her planet explode all within the first 10 minutes. The woman had more emotional gravity than some leads who got entire trilogies. Fans respected her for that brief, tragic strength, and the DCEU promptly did what it always does, forgot she existed. At least she didn't stick around long enough to get ruined by sequels. Sometimes dying early is the only way to preserve your dignity in this universe. Katana, brought to the screen by Karen Fukuhara. Katana entered Suicide Squad with a sword that captures souls and a tragic backstory that could have been an entire film. But the DCEU gave her about 5 lines before she faded into the background like a forgotten extra. She literally talks to her dead husband's spirit trapped in her blade. How is that not interesting enough for more screen time? Fans didn't hate her, they hated what the studio did to her. Katana was the cool side character everyone wanted to know more about, but instead, we got extended Joker scenes nobody asked for. She's the DCEU's biggest what could have been moment, wrapped in black leather and wasted potential. Iris West, portrayed by Kiersey Clemens. She was teased, filmed, deleted, refilmed, and delayed so many times it felt like she was stuck in her own time loop. By the time The Flash finally came out in 2023, fans were like, oh right, she exists. And you know what? Kiersey Clemens brought charm and warmth to a character who's usually just the hero's love interest. She felt real, human even, in a movie that was otherwise drowning in CGI babies and multiverse nonsense. Fans liked her because she didn't try too hard. Unfortunately, in the DCEU, subtlety is often mistaken for irrelevance. Cassandra Cain, played by Ella J. Basco. When DC said Cassandra Cain would appear in Birds of Prey, fans expected a silent martial arts prodigy trained by assassins. What they got was a teenage pickpocket who swallowed a diamond. That's it. That was her plotline. It's not Ella Basco's fault. The poor girl did what she could, but the writing turned one of the most fascinating comic characters into comic relief. Fans felt personally betrayed, like ordering filet mignon and getting microwave tofu instead. Cassandra Cain in the DCEU was proof that not every adaptation deserves to exist. Faora-Ul, depicted by Antje Trawa. Man of Steel gave us one of the most underrated villains ever, Faora-Ul, General Zod's lethal right hand. She barely spoke, but every line she delivered hit harder than Superman's punches. Fans immediately fell in love with her icy demeanor and terrifying efficiency. She wasn't just a henchwoman, she was a cinematic force. She fought like a ballet dancer trained in annihilation and made audiences go, wait, why is she cooler than Zod? When she vanished after Man of Steel, DC fans mourned like she was a fallen queen. Even now, she's remembered as the villain who didn't need redemption to be iconic. Grace Fulton's Mary Marvel. In Shazam, Mary was supposed to be just another member of the family ensemble, but Grace Fulton made her shine with this "I'm smarter than all of you" energy that fans adored. She had heart, humor, and a realistic sibling dynamic that didn't feel like it came out of a corporate script meeting. By Shazam, Fury of the Gods, she was basically the team's backbone while everyone else was busy making dumb jokes or fighting mythological therapy sessions. Mary Marvel gave the DCEU something rare, competence wrapped in kindness. Naturally, that means the studio ignored her when planning its reboot. And with that, we've come to the end of today's video. Up next, most hated versus most loved DCEU characters, all genders. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you leave. It helps a lot. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.